My name is Luciano Alves de Oliveira. I am an assistant professor at the University of Illinois in the Department of Agricultural and Biological Engineering, and I'm here to talk about land application of Poultry Leader. When looking to Poultry Leader as a resource, I look at more as a source of nutrients than waste. It's different than the others because it is dry, but at the same time, it varies a lot. So testing the content of Poultry Leader is essential to understand how much you're applying back to the field. Poultry Leader is very rich in phosphorus, but also has potassium that can be used to the crop. You have to understand how much of the nutrient, the specific nutrient you have in the soil, and how much the plant is going to take. That can be done by testing the soil, can be done by an idea of how much the plant needs throughout their cycle, but it's essential that you test your leader on that specific year to understand how much it can provide. So the integration of the two tests and understand what plant you're using, it makes sure that you're going to have a sustainable practice. Because Poultry Leader is solid, you have to stockpile, even if for a brief time, you still have to put in the land. So not only problems with application, but also storage, you have to be careful. Regarding the stockpiling, if you're going to leave 1 or 2 days, it's okay to leave it open just because it's going to be easier to use or not. But if you're planning to stockpiling for a long term, consider covering it so you can avoid any influence for weather variability or even for animals that digs and burrow, so you can prevent any type of misuse of the Poultry Leader. In addition to the cover, consider also using a liner to protect the soil itself so you don't have any leakage through the soil. Taking care of the storage is only one side of the problem. You have to be careful with the application. So the first one is applying far from the streams. There is the setbacks that you can consult, but you have to respect that. You have to apply far from neighborhoods, have to apply far from housing. You also need to avoid any time that the temperature of the soil is higher than 50 Fahrenheit. So it avoids the microorganisms to change the content of the nutrients, and then therefore you're not going to lose. You have to avoid to apply in snow-covered soils or whenever the soil is freezing too. That is also to prevent any type of water quality problems in the future. When applying, you have two options. Either leave the leader in the surface or you can incorporate. Injection is not an option because it's not liquid. So it's almost like a second pass with the machine just to make sure that the leader is incorporated to the soil and is going to be protected. If you leave in the surface, you're exposed because the nutrients are not going to be incorporated to the soil, therefore protected, and it's not also going to be available to the plant because it's just sitting on the surface. So that is going to carry on more nutrients to the next budget for the next year, and you're not using what you invested for this year. Applying the Poultry Leader also is a problem when the field has a higher slope, just because for being sitting on the surface or for being incorporated in a solid manner that the Poultry Leader is, it's more exposed or more vulnerable to the intensity of rains that can carry over the nutrients through runoff or subsurface runoff, and therefore causing trouble to the water quality too.